Hi, I'm Jenny Nguyen, owner of the Sports Bra here in Portland, Oregon. Thank you so much for coming to my Fed Talk. I would classify my style of cooking as, what we're gonna be doing for the Fed Talk is basically the food that I grew up eating. So my mom's cooking, which is really traditional Vietnamese food. And how when we moved over here to the US, when my parents moved over to the US, they had to source the ingredients from the Pacific Northwest. So how that has kind of transcribed how we cooked Vietnamese food here in town. So I would say the inspiration as far as a person that goes for who inspired me to start cooking was definitely my mom. She cooked every meal for me growing up. We ate dinner together as a family every night. And I don't think I realized how special that was until I went away to college. And the food at the college was really terrible. And so I started wanting to make my own food, and I was really missing the food from home. So I remember calling my mom and asking her for some of her classic recipes, and those were some of the first dishes I tried making when I was away at college. I would say that the reason my mom's dishes are so important to me is that it reminds me of where I came from. You know, a lot of it is based in how she grew up, how her grandma and how her family cooked. And there are parts of recipes that have been passed down generation to generation. And as I've gotten older, I've realized how beautiful that is. And so, you know, even how we've translated it to living in the Pacific Northwest, that is going to be passed down in generations. You know, I think that that's just the way food and culture and stories go. So I think, to me, the main thing is the connection to the history. Oh my goodness. So the most important ingredient to this cuisine, I would say, is fish sauce. My very second tattoo ever is of the fish sauce that I grew up eating. I have it right here on the back of my arm. And it is, I don't think it's a secret anymore. I think a lot of people know that Vietnamese food, it gets its umami from fish sauce. And I think that you can't have Vietnamese food without it. I wanted to do this Fed Talk because I felt like it was a really great opportunity for my mom and I to do something together. I think it's really brilliant how she's inspired me in cooking and in my career and embracing my Vietnamese identity and culture. You know, all of that stuff is so tied into food. And to be able to host something like this together with her, I think is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I really think it's just a great bonding experience that I'm totally jazzed for. I wanted to work with Feed the Mass because I'd heard so many amazing things about the work that they do within the community. And I just feel like having the Sports Bra, we are constantly trying to find new ways to reach out to different parts of the community and just get involved. It started out with just girls and just sports, or just women and just sports. But you know, being a bar and restaurant, we have many platforms, and I just feel like there's an intersection there that there's a lot of mission alignment. So I'm really happy to work with Feed the Mass. Okay, so the first course we're gonna have is a shrimp salad. It sounds super simple, it really is. It's a shredded cabbage, just boiled shrimp, peeled, sliced, and then the secret is in the sauce. So it's got a really great fish sauce-based sauce, and it hits all those notes. It's got the texture of the crunchy slaw, it's got the sour from lime juice, it's got a little bit of sweetness from a little bit of sugar and the natural sweetness of the shrimp. And then my mom puts a little bit of Thai red chilies in there for a little heat. And then of course the saltiness from the fish sauce. First we've got the salad, second we've got the soup. So it's called chao ga. It's basically a chicken congee. To me, it is the comfort food of my childhood. If I was sick, I had a cold, I was staying home from school, mom would put a pot of chao ga on and it would be every meal. And what's really great is that, you know, when you're supposed to be eating something bland, you can have it just plain. It's just like a porridgey rice with chicken bits in it, and like chicken broth. But then, you know, as you start to feel better, you can add shaved ginger, you can add chili oil, you can garnish it with fried shallots. You can really just take it all the way up to a notch 10. So to me, that is like the classic. It's basically the American version of chicken noodle soup. And then the third part of our first course is a shrimp paste on sugarcane. And this dish is important to me because I remember being little, and when grandma and mom cooked in the kitchen together, grandma always made this dish. She always made this shrimp paste. It was really kind of like for special occasions. Like we would be together for like a wedding or something, and grandma would pull out this dish. And so to me, this was a real treat. My mom would never make it at home. So it was really when grandma was around. And it's basically a shrimp, like a chopped shrimp, kind of made into a paste with a bunch of aromatics. And then you press it around a sugar cane. And traditionally it's served with like lettuce wraps, cucumber herbs, and those kinds of things. But for this, we're just gonna have it just be the shrimp on sugar cane, and you'll just really get just real savory. And then what happens is you get the savory saltiness of the shrimp, and then you suck on the sugar cane, and it's like this perfect balance. It's such a treat. So the second course, the main course, is a roasted or baked salmon roll your own wrap. It's basically a rice paper wrap, and then you have all these herbs, lettuce, cucumber, roasted peanuts, vermicelli noodles, and it's all like garnishes on the side. And then you have this gorgeous baked salmon that's simply prepared. And of course, the secret sauce, Nuc Mam, which is based with fish sauce, lemons, limes, garlic, some shredded carrot, and then the Thai red chilies, of course. But what's cool is that with a lot of Vietnamese food, it's so fresh and it's choose your own adventure. If you've ever been out for pho, they bring you the condiment plate, and you can choose to pick whatever you want and put it in your pho or not. My mom likes to make fun of me because when pho comes out, I eat it as is. I don't put anything in there. I don't put a lick of anything, nothing. I don't put bean sprouts, I don't put hot sauce, nothing goes in there. And so my mom says I eat like a child when I eat pho. But then I went out with my grandparents, and they said that the ancient Vietnamese people ate it plain. And so I was like, old soul. So the cool thing about the roll your own is you can choose your own adventure. You don't like cucumbers, don't put them in there. You allergic to peanuts, don't put them in there. You want all fish, no vegetables, do as you wish. So it's a really fun one, and it's super communal, which is why we chose it for Fed Talk. The third course and the dessert course is called Cha Ba Mao. So Cha is this general, it's kind of like a general term, and it really means dessert, I guess is the closest translation. And Ba Mao is 3 colors, so 3-color dessert. And so it's made with mung bean, red bean, and tapioca. And typically the tapioca is this like neon green situation. So you've got the 3 colors. And then it's got coconut milk and like a shaved ice or crushed ice. And it is just, with a lot of American desserts, there's like this overwhelmingly syrupy sweetness. And when you have Cha, a lot of it is based in bean or a legume. So it's got this kind of like, just like this rich depth of flavor, and it's just like a little more complex for a dessert. But you get the sweetness of the coconut milk, and then the ice. It's just very, very nice and super traditional. Yeah, so the courses that we chose for this dinner, I would say that it's a combination of a lot of things. Things that are nostalgic to me as a kid, things that mean a lot to the culture, as what I think means a lot to Vietnamese cuisine and culture. And then the biggest thing, which is what has been passed down through the generations. And I want there to be like an authenticity to it. I think that a lot of folks are familiar with certain types of Vietnamese cuisine, what's popularized in restaurants and things like that. But I also want to show people that, you know, so many things are regional and like family recipes. And so there's just a wide range of cuisines, even in places like, so my mom's from Saigon and my dad's from Dalat. And when you make chao ga, the chicken soup, it's dramatically different in each of those regions. And so being able to sit down with 20 people and show them how my mom made it or how grandma made it, it's pretty cool. If I could go back and talk to myself at the beginning of my culinary career, I would tell myself to trust the process, to be really patient. I think, I started cooking when I was in my early 20s. So all the energy and gusto of early 20s and wanting to be someplace all the time. And thinking that there was a hard, steadfast way to get there. And I think having been a woman in a predominantly male-dominated industry, I felt like I had to fit into that box in order to get ahead. And so all the things that I really despise now, like toxic masculinity, patriarchal systems, all of those things that I kind of felt pigeonholed into in order to get ahead, I realized that those are not what it takes to become a great chef. So I would tell the young version of myself to be patient, trust the process, to do it your way. And I mean, everybody learns at their own pace, so it took me, 15 years to figure that out on my own. How I would like to see the landscape of culinary cooking change. I mean, I would say that I don't think I personally can do anything to change the landscape of those things, but I know that in my restaurant, there are things that I would do differently. Like somebody asked me today, what kind of boss do you want to be? And I think 15 years of being in kitchens, you've run into bosses that you love, or parts of bosses that you love and parts of bosses that you didn't love. And for me, it's like, how do I embrace the parts of my bosses that I loved? What inspired them? And how does that impact how I am as a boss? And then what did my bosses do that I absolutely hated? And how would that change what I do? And like, how can I not be that guy? And I think the key is, one, realizing that there are other ways to be successful. You don't have to be like a raging jerk to produce excellent food. I think that empathy, understanding, respect, listening to people, like all of those things are hugely important in having a team atmosphere and a sense of belonging for the staff. And when that happens, you can taste it in the food. Nobody wants, bitterness to come through. And I think that when I was cooking in kitchens, a lot of it was fear-based. I wanted to do a really good job or create a really excellent dish because I was afraid that the chef would be upset if I didn't. And what tastes better is if you instill joy and passion and pride into your staff, and that they're cooking with that instead of the opposite. And so, I think that I can do what I can at my place, but I don't know if, I can do any more than that, and that's fine. I think what I would love everyone to leave with after dinner tonight is just a different sense about Vietnamese cuisine. I think that, there's, like I said, there's a lot of things that have been popularized by Emeril Lagasse or Food Network about what Vietnamese food is and what is at restaurants. But nowadays, we're having more and more people opening very authentic restaurants here in Portland, and we're seeing a dramatic shift in the kinds of food that is being available to the public. And so I think this opportunity to show people what a little home cooking is like, on top of like the inspiration that is passed down through generation. I think people forget that when they sit down at a restaurant, that these recipes may have come from great grandma, right? So it's nice to be able to tell a story, and sometimes you sit at a restaurant and you don't get that story. So I like that about this, and I hope that people take that away. And I also feel like it's another part of my life that oftentimes doesn't get the attention that a lot of parts of the sports bra is getting as far as media and publicity. And so it's a gigantic part of my life that I feel like this is a great opportunity to like showcase. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, learned a little bit more about me, Vietnamese cuisine. If you want to come check out the Sports Bra, we're on Northeast 25th and Broadway in Portland, Oregon. Or you can check us out on Instagram. Our handle is @thesportsbrapdx. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, same handle. Come check it out.